Well, g'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. All right, here we are, right at the tail end of autumn, just about to go into winter. So let's have a bow peep round and have a look at how the garden's going. Okay, our long bed's pretty much retired for the year. I may take off some parsley and dry that out. I've got the dehydrator back out because I've done some mushrooms the other day. Same with some oregano. I use a lot of oregano in my cooking, so might need to dry some of that off. Definitely thinking about another batch of cowboy candy out of the jalapenos. Got enough there, I'd say, for a small batch. You know, might get another jar out of it. Eggplant still producing well, you know, which is surprising because it is a warmer season sort of plant, but it's still putting out little eggplants, which is awesome. Still waiting for this little sucker to ripen up. As you can see, the color's getting a lot more golden. So we might well take that inside very soon, before it actually gets a frost on it, and let it ripen up inside. My paprikas, they are looking fantastic. Still waiting for everything to become ripe. Yeah, just still waiting for everything to ripen up. I may start picking the ripe ones and drying them before I smoke them, just so I don't start losing them to any sort of rot. You know, they're looking magnificent, apart from when they fall over off the stake. But yeah, they're looking great, and I'm really looking forward to that smoked paprika that I'm going to get off them. The beetroot, took a pick off this one the other day, had some roasted beetroot with a lamb roast. Absolutely magnificent. As you can see, they're still coming on, so pretty happy with them. Smaller beetroots not doing as well, but again, picked a couple out. They got roasted up for dinner the other day. Pepper bed, I have still got peppers going here. They're still changing colors. I may well, if I've got all the seed ones I want, I may well pick some off and do a candied pepper that is not as hot as the jalapenos, so just a candied capsicum, as we'd call it here in Australia. So yeah, I may well pick them off and do a candied capsicum. The European spinach bed, still suffering, still struggling. Actually lost a couple of those, but still got a couple coming up, so still hoping that I'm going to get a bit of a crop out of that one. Potatoes, as you can see, starting to get a bit of frost damage or cold weather damage on them, so this bucket will be coming out. This one's still going good, that one's still going good, that one's still going good, still good, still good, still good. Have taken this one out, and I'll flash up a photo of the harvest that I took the other day. Okay, still going good in here. That one snuck back around the corner, but yep, still growing. These supermarket ones still growing, so still happy to leave them. The Frank's pea, absolutely killing it. You know, some great pods coming up. Now these are a shelling pea. The pods are fairly bitter to eat, and obviously hard to peel when you're not quite ripe. But as you can see, they're filling out nicely, and the pea is a beautiful sweet pea. They're absolutely delicious as a garden snack. Unfortunately, with us being in the colder months, by the time Astra gets over, it tends to be too cold for her to have it, or too dark outside for her to grab a garden snack. So they're for me. And they are just a burst of sweetness in the mouth. Absolutely delicious. Climbing peas. Again, these are a shelling pea. So, you know, pods have got that touch of bitterness to them. But they're coming along fantastic. Plenty of peas on there, which is great because I've got, you know, something that's not a leafy green that's coming out of the garden. Okay, these ones over here, which are in the center bed, these are a pod pea. You can eat them pod and all. They're not as bitter, so they'll be going in the stir fries. But yeah, they're podding up nicely. Plenty of flowers on them. They don't mind the cold weather. Doing great. As you can see, the marigolds, yeah, they've kicked in and moving on. They're spreading through the bed. That's absolutely fine. Much rather have the marigolds there than all the other weeds that are cropping up everywhere else. Definitely do need to do some weeding, but it's just so cold and wet. And basically at the moment, the weeds are a green manure crop for me, so happy to leave them in as long as they don't set seed. All right, little bok choy, doing fantastic. Coming along great guns since I planted those. My turnip, definitely ready to harvest. This one, we've got this little one here, this little one here, they come along great. But I need to think of a stew or soup idea to use that turnip up, because this one's ready to come out before it gets woody. Okay, black Russian kale, the one that lasted from seed, it's come on great. As you can see, it's still getting a little bit of late cabbage moth, but being at the front, the birds are picking off the grubs from it, which is fantastic. Helps to keep all these little ones free from any grubs. So great. Little pepper here, it's still putting fruit out. You know, it's trying. So while it's doing its thing, I'm happy to let it do its thing. This banana pepper here, doing great guns, harvesting banana peppers. You know, still plenty of green ones on it, but they're not succumbing to the frost, which is great. So they will still color up. And here we have a big pepper and a tape measure. I had a message from Robert from Homestead Aquarius asking about my big pepper. That'll come in a later video. All right, over in this bed, watermelon radish, just absolutely kicking goals. I've harvested a couple of these, roasted them up. You would have seen that in that previous picture. Again, it's getting the damage from the caterpillars, but I'm not worried about it. I'm not taking the greens off this, so more than happy for her to have a go at that, and then the birds pick them off. That's fine. Bell pepper here, doing absolutely great. You can see that's just about to ripen up those last ones. So really happy with that one hanging in. Spinach and leeks. Spinach is coming on, doing fantastic. Leeks are doing their thing. 2 lowly bean plants left here, not really doing much of anything. Obviously went in when it was a bit too cold for them. The mini cauliflower, still there, still coming along. So happy with them. Still got some spare leeks that need to go in. And here we have the mini cabbage and the wamba bok, the mini wamba bok. So they still need to go into the garden at some stage. Okay, these poor lottie beans, as you can see, really getting knocked about by the colder weather, but there are beans on them. You know, and I'll get back the beans that I put in the ground and I'm happy with that, and I'll probably get a few extras. That's a win. Peanut bed, as you can see, starting to get a few weeds up through it. But as of yet, still waiting for that dieback just to make sure I get the best harvest I can off the peanuts. So that won't be too much longer. I've cut down my okra. As you can see, we're getting a little bit of side shooting. Look, if they manage to make it through the winter, great. If they don't, oh well, no loss. So again on this one, it's getting a bit of side shooting, a little bit of leaf action. Yeah, so we'll see if it'll make it through the winter. If it does, it makes an early start on next summer. If it doesn't, yeah. Sweet potatoes, starting to suffer again in the cold. Still got new foliage coming off them. This will be the next one to harvest, but yeah, it's not really pushing up yet. As of yet, no tubers pushing up. So we'll leave it be. It may mean that I'm not harvesting on it until we get into spring of next year. And this is the one that I had harvested, put back in the ground, and as you can see, new growth on it, looking great. So really happy with that one. As per usual, we'll finish off the garden tour out with the chicks. Young no-frills and frilly, as you can see on the back of their heads, they're getting a little bit of the boys' attention, which is fantastic. Big boy who's right there, you can see how big he is when no frills walks past him. I'm not seeing him performing his duties, so he may well end up going to freezer camp. Whereas young Tails over there, who has that magnificent sickle feathers on the tails, he's trying to perform his duties and Big Boy's knocking him off. So we may end up with Tails as our main rooster, Big Boy going to freezer camp, and little Betty who's up front there. As of yet, she hasn't started coming into lay, but with it being the cooler months, I'm not particularly worried about it. So when she comes into lay, she comes into lay, and until then, the girls are giving me a heap of eggs, plenty for me, plenty to share with the neighbours. You know, shared out a few today, and the neighbours are always very appreciative of getting those eggs, so works well for me. All right, thank you very much everyone for watching, and bye for now.